A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel, the Twinflame Union. In this channeling session, I am going to be talking about the recognition of the correct partner, the love partner or the divine counterpart or the mirror, we can say, is happening between the masculine and the feminine right now. So what happens in a twin flame journey is, before you become a divine feminine or a divine masculine, you need to understand that you need to go through a process of cleansing, a process which is very important, because you can consider yourself to be like a cloth, a pure white cloth. And when you obviously get incubated on planet Earth, you also make a lot of mistakes, you also do a lot of dirty deeds, you do a lot of wrong things, bad things. That's something that you do, obviously out of your innocence, not knowing what's correct and what's not correct. So this cloth that you are, basically you can consider this to be consciousness. You are pure consciousness when you come to planet Earth, when you're incubated on the 3D reality, the dual world. And you could be coming from any galaxy, you could be coming with any amount of good deeds as your past, or you could be having anything. You could be a very advanced soul, and it doesn't matter really. When you come to Earth, you have to start from scratch. You could be a god, you could be a goddess, you could be anyone, literally. Okay? Like, so what happens? We come here, and then this cloth, this white pure consciousness, it gets dirty, and you also form a lot of false beliefs about yourself, especially related to love, related to humanity, related to anything. The truth basically gets diluted and it becomes something else. So when you are getting into the inner work mode, or when your ascension journey starts, when the Kundalini awakens, first Kundalini rises, okay? It awakens, it starts rising. So this is the time, this pure cloth that you were, that has become so dirty, and before you go to the source, before you get fully integrated with the source, every little bit of that dirt has to go. So the cleaning process starts, the cleansing process begins. That's why some of you feel very uncomfortable, because if you have ever seen how a cloth is getting washed, now in the regular world, it's very hard to wash a white cloth. You get a pure white cloth, you put all sorts of grease and murk and dirt and colors and everything into it. You get the best detergent also that's available, you get the best bleach also, but it cannot be fully the same how it was. But this is only possible in the spiritual reality. Only source, the love of source, the unconditional love of source, and your urge to ascend creates a washing agent, a detergent, the best detergent ever, that will get out all of your dirt. Okay? So again, I'll sing few lines from a song that I had sang before also, which applies perfectly with this. लागा चुनरी में दाग, छुपाऊं कैसे, लागा चुनरी में दाग, चुनरी में दाग छुपाऊं कैसे, घर जाऊं कैसे, लागा चुनरी में दाग छुपाऊं कैसे, लागा चुनरी में दाग, चुनरी में दाग छुपाऊं कैसे, घर जाऊं कैसे, लागा. So ghar means home. So source is your home, and you need to go back to your home. But how to go back to home? It is so difficult, right? So difficult to get cleansed. This cleansing process is very difficult, very painful. But when this cleansing process starts happening, one of the key things that happens is that you recognize. First, you recognize the need of true love, or the requirement of true love in your life. You are not accepting anything which does not appear to be true. So you start to recognize true love. That is the first stage of recognition as per the twin flame stages. But I always tell people that not listen to everything that you see on the internet, or sometimes it is not going to be exactly how it is written. Okay, because when the chakras start aligning, it does not get aligned in one go. Okay, so first you recognize the person, and then the chaos starts, the testing starts, the crisis starts, the runner chaser dynamic starts, and eventually people reach to the surrender stage. After getting into surrender stage and after all the separation which is very much required, I always say this, you cannot grow without isolation. If you are not going to get isolated, I am sorry to say the union cannot happen. No matter what your situation is, you need to be isolated for some time. You need to be on your own for some time. How you do it is up to you. You do it like by not interacting much with people. You do it by living alone. You do it by moving to some other place. You do it by having your separate room where no one can enter, or you do it by not talking to anyone about anything until and unless it's like very much important, just one or two words you exchange, which is like, you know, required in the materialistic world. Or you maintain some kind of a regime or routine where you maintain more silence. You go inward basically, you don't go so much outward. Okay, and as I say, sometimes you could be in a profession where you have to talk to people. Okay, but you don't talk to them just to chat or just to kill your time. You only talk about what is required, the maximum that you need to speak for something. You realize that this is the maximum and this is the minimum, so you would choose the minimum, which is required, the minimum that will do your work. Okay, so that is also type of thing that people do in ascension journey, because they need to work and they need to be independent, they need to pay their own bills, they need to get their own place, all of that. And yes, if you are able to get your own place, then automatically you are more isolated, or you're more secluded, you're more into solitude as compared to other people. So different people do it differently. There's nothing wrong in that. It's a very good thing, because that is going to give you a lot of understanding about yourself, and you would be going through a lot of different phases in one single day, sometimes in 1 week, in 1 month, you know, when the surrender kicks in properly. So surrender, first it starts, then it kicks in, then it becomes deep, and then it becomes very deep, you know. So every phase of surrender comes with many surprises. So you need to be inward completely, because now you're going to be your own friend. As I said, some people can have like a one big house that they share with others, but when they start doing inner work and when the surrender kicks in, they don't even go into other people's rooms, you know. They have their own routine, and because they are financially independent, they don't really have to go and ask someone. Sometimes I've even noticed that they start cooking their own food also. They have their own kitchen, because other people could be eating non-veg food and they don't want to eat that type of food. So a lot of changes happen, I've noticed, in different types of people, in different types of places, depending on what mission they are doing, what job they have, what lifestyle they have, what relationships they are already into, so on and so forth. So when you see the title, the masculine recognizes feminine as his true partner, or vice versa, the feminine recognizes masculine as her true partner. Okay, so masculine and feminine energies, the opposite polarity energies, they realize that they are each other's friends, not enemies, and they should not stop coming into each other's way. Okay, the feminine has a certain role to play, feminine energy, and the masculine energy has a certain role to play. The feminine energy is a nurturing energy. The masculine energy is a providing energy. The feminine energy is the energy which is emotional. She makes decisions through her emotions. And the masculine energy is calculative energy, who makes decisions through calculations. Okay, so both are required. In different places, different type of energy is required. You can't use the calculative energy when you're talking to children sometimes, or animals sometimes. You have to be very emotional and nurturing. But when you talk to the shopkeepers, or you talk to some person with whom you're doing business, you're talking to your chartered accountant maybe, or you're talking to somebody, I'm just giving some examples, then you need to be very calculative and very smart. Okay, when you're working with other people, you need to be very masculine in your approach. You need to be quite research based. When the feminine comes, and she has to be very intuition based. So these are opposite energies, but they need to recognize, the opposite energies need to recognize, just like in yin yang situation, that we need to work together, in unison. We need to harmonize in order to get into the union. So that is how it works. Okay, so here this recognition is very important, that this aspect of masculine is very helpful in this particular situation, and that aspect of feminine is very important in so and so situation. Okay, and this recognition, it could have happened first as a recognition for true love, or the need of true love, as I said, that you don't want to accept false love anymore, or you don't want to be in a relationship which is you don't know, you don't understand, you're not honest, it's not genuine, or you feel that you're getting into a relationship because of your codependency. A lot of people get into relationships because of codependency. Even in the twin flame journey, many people realize they are in false twin relationship when they feel that I was only in this relationship because I was codependent. If I was not codependent, I would have never chosen this person whom I was considering to be my partner or my lover, my divine counterpart, and blah blah blah. So later on they realized, oh, this is not even my divine counterpart, or it's not even a person I should be with. It's not the right mirror for me. This mirror is not the good mirror, it's not showing me anything much clearly, or whatever it shows me is more false and less true. Okay, so this is an illusion, this is not a real mirror. So the energy of this channeling session is, I would like to say, it's a channeling, it's a guiding, it's a guidance, it's a information, it's all clubbed in. Okay, so here the recognition, the real recognition is happening now. After surrender kicks in, you actually start figuring things out. Okay, before that you're struggling because you're angry, you're very upset, you are constantly questioning, why me, why this, why that. After surrender kicks in, you start understanding that there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for all this suffering. This suffering is not going into waste. It's going to do something. It's going to make you achieve something, basically. So when you recognize, then you stop fighting with it. You stop getting angry unnecessarily, and you also understand this behavior pattern of yours is also not your behavior pattern. You have taken it from the societal flaws, the society that you live in. You have soaked it in from that. Your family, your schooling, your neighbors, your socio-economic conditions, your cultural settings, everything. Wherever you're coming from, everything combined, your behavior, your reactions, your responses are very much based on that, who you are till that point in time. And you realize that you're just reacting out of nothing, out of no reason. There's no reason to react. There's no reason for this fear. Thus your suffering will reduce or it will stop. Your misery will go away. Before that you'll be so miserable, such a miserable person, full of agony, full of pain, full of reactions, constantly misunderstanding things, constantly living in fears, not able to trust, not able to let go, not able to develop faith, So now you're going to be like, I gotta think more clearly, and I gotta accept, and I gotta learn from my mistakes. And Source is so amazing. No matter how many mistakes you make, and for how long you've made those mistakes, when you surrender to Source, Source will always accept you. The moment you realize that I made this mistake, I should not have made this mistake, and I need to fix it now, please forgive me. You forgive yourself, you ask for forgiveness because you were ignorant, because you did not know what you were doing. And the moment you ask for that acceptance, you will get it. Without a doubt, you'll get it. Have very much strong faith in it. Okay. And you will start seeing the changes after that. Big changes will come in your life after that. So my friends, I would like to say, if you're going through this situation right now where you're able to recognize a lot of things that were false, and you can differentiate or separate them from, like, if you say in a group there are 10 objects, 8 are true and 2 are false, or 3 are false, 7 are true, or you can increase and decrease the number. Maybe 2 are true and 8 are false. But you would be able to recognize it and recognize it, and you would also be able to recognize the people's energy. Okay? Like, who is a divine energy, who is a asura energy, who is a demonic energy, who is a human energy, who is very neutral, who's like this, who's like, you'll figure it out better. You may not do it, I'm not saying, I'm not going to give a percentage to it, but it would be better than before. So this recognition, when it kicks in, I would say it's a very good place to be in. It's a good phase has started. Again, you don't want to get into good and bad anymore, because the moment you will say, oh, it's good, there is an opposite reaction to it, or an opposite polarity of energy of it, which is bad. So you say bad, good, good, bad, night, day, man, woman, ugly, beautiful, joy, sorrow. So that's why you become more careful with these sort of conceptions. You would rather say, okay, I don't know if it's good or bad. Maybe it is good, maybe it is bad. But I want to know if it's real or not, if it's the truth or not. And truth is something which you cannot define. Truth is something that you can only experience. Your truth may not be the same as the other person's truth. The other person's truth may not be same as yours. But you, how do you know something is true for you or not? You experience it. You learn by experience. You figure it out. Okay? For personal sessions and for therapies, you can check out the description box. For therapies, please be open and prepared to share your information, the situations you have gone through, the childhood situations, the adolescent situations. There would be a lot of questions that you would be answering, because the more you're open to healing. Don't get into therapy if you're not open to heal. If you don't have a strong urge to learn and to study and to heal, to fix yourself, then I would recommend you to not get into therapy. Only get into therapy when you're ready for therapy. Okay? And if you're getting into a personal session, a reading or a Vedic reading, intuitive or a Vedic, there are 2 types of readings that I do. Do not share any of your twin flame story or information with me in advance, please. This is a simple disclaimer that I share, so that we can get the best, most accurate, as much as we can get, honest answers that suit you or your journey at that point in time. Okay? So this is where I'm going to close this session. Thank you so much for being here with me. One love and peace out.